Hello, Andy Rray here. In this week's video, I'm looking at my marketing plan for how I'm going to make a living out of music. Hello, Andy Rray here, and welcome to my video playlist on my musical career and how I'm going to make a living out of my music. In the last video, I showed you where I was at with my web presence, my Mixcloud, SoundCloud, and also my social media. Now, getting likes and followers on social media is part of the currency of being a music artist, but the amount of likes and follows is a vanity metric. It doesn't necessarily translate into any kind of income. And so I've been looking this week at the various income streams that I would need to create a living out of music, and it revolves around having fans. Fans who go beyond the engagement of liking and following on social media, for instance. So the main income stream any artist would be dealing with or thinking about today is their streaming income. So streaming by placing music on a DSP such as Spotify and being paid per stream. And if you've done any research about this, you'll know that streaming income is poor. The amount paid out by the DSPs is a significantly small amount compared with like a conventional record deal. But you know, the record companies did the deal with the likes of Spotify back in the day, so it's not entirely Spotify's fault. But in any case, you're going to have serious streaming numbers to create an income. And the metric at the moment is that, like here in the UK, to earn the minimum hourly wage, which is about £8.70 an hour, you're going to need 970 streams or 7,000 plays on YouTube to just make enough money to pay 1 hour's wage. So to create monthly income requires massive streams. So I'm not focusing on Spotify as being as an income generator. Someone once alluded to Spotify as being advertising that you get paid for, and I think that's the way to approach it. Continuing digital products with downloads. Now downloads have obviously fallen slightly out of favour compared with streaming, and yet in the space I'm operating in, electronic music for nightclubs and festivals, then DJs do buy tracks. They have to buy tracks so they can use them in their software, their record box software. So there's a healthy market for people buying tracks. So I'm operating in a space where there could be income, and again, it won't be significant depending on the deal you do when you upload your tracks through the various DSPs, and we'll be talking about that in future videos. You're looking at something like 10 pence per download if you're lucky. Another possible income stream is physical products, CDs, vinyl in music, and then apparel, t-shirts, hoodies, beanie caps, cigarette lighters, lanyards, whatever you want that are non-music related. I know about this. I've worked with artists and I know about their merchandising operations, and specifically with the music side of it, CD or vinyl, I am appealing or creating music that would appeal to DJs, and DJs buy vinyl. So there's no reason for me not to engage in some kind of physical product. Creating physical products requires money up front. Then the live side of it, DJing, playing out, with the current pandemic and uncertainty around that, there's going to be very little of that until next year, and that then is reliant on a vaccine being found or other regulations in place. But there is the whole live streaming aspect of performing, which is slowly finding its feet. There are numerous articles and examples of artists who've gone out and created live streams that have done well. There are a lot of people just rushing to live streaming and doing it very badly. So I think that one's going to settle itself down, and I think it's about an audience participation. We are educated now to expect live streams, which is good. I've watched a few, and as I've said before, some of them were fantastic and some of them were shocking. that education and finding fans who are willing to engage is going to be the secret to anybody who creates long-term live streaming success, and that's something that I should be looking at in later videos. Sticking with the audio then, like, I have possible income streams from doing production work, songwriting, remixing. At the moment my audio chops are just not up there, and it would be remiss of me to try and punt my work out. But as a long-term goal, then obviously yes, there's significant income potential from that kind of work. And with all this that I've mentioned in the creation of music, whether it's be for live streams or downloads or putting it on a DSP such as Spotify, there is payment in terms of what is offered by the product itself. So in the case of Spotify, yes, we've mentioned per streaming figures. But as a creator, as a songwriter, as a composer, I am also eligible to performing rights. So every time my tune is played out, if I've composed it and I'm registered with a PRO, a performing rights organisation, I will also get my performing right royalty, or however you want to, whatever you want to call it. So I have registered for both the PRS for music and PPL here in the UK, and that ensures that I get recognised as the composer. So when my song is performed, so if I played it out in a nightclub, I would get my royalty. By registering with PPL, that recognises my right as a composer in the recorded format. I think it's really important to get your ducks in a row early on, and I have got my ducks in a row early on, and I've started registering everything that I do, even my 15-second video edits. I've registered them with PRS and PPL, and so if I upload a piece of music to YouTube, for instance, all the correct ISRC codes are in there, and YouTube will recognise that as being mine. This whole registering of music is incredibly important, especially in mediums that allow you to self-release, like putting your music on SoundCloud. So electronic music and hip-hop. Thousands of tracks are put on SoundCloud and the songwriters are never rewarded. And there are thousands of tracks that are played out in clubs and the songwriters are never rewarded. The composers are never rewarded, because there's no way of tracking the data of the music that's played out. In fact, there isn't any data in the music. And there was this article in DJ Mag a couple of, I don't know who it was, a couple of months ago, I've got a screen grab here, that explains the problem, especially for music played out. Traditionally, if an artist plays live in a venue, then the venue owner should be registered with a performing rights organisation and should collect the information about what songs were played that evening and then transmit it to the PRO, who then put it in their database, and eventually the composers of those songs will get their performance royalty. And the problem with DJing is DJs have records and they play them out and no one tracks which records were played out, and the composers and producers never receive their royalty. So that is a massive problem for the club community, electronic music community, and there are steps to try and address that. But I'm thinking about this already, and I'm making sure that everything I produce, it takes a bit of time just to embed an ISRC code in it, and that I register the works with PPL and PRS for music. So that's a brief overview of the income streams that I could possibly expect from my music, and all this relies on me having fans. So with that in mind, I produced this marketing plan. As you can see, I've labelled it 2020 through to 2021. I anticipate this being a 5-year project, but definitely for the next year, this is what I'm working on to put all these bits in place. I have to have fans. I have to have people who like what I do in terms of creating original music, and people who like what I do when I play out other people's music in DJ sets. So having a quick look around the marketing plan, it all revolves around driving you and other people who like my music to a place where I can then talk to you on a one-to-one basis. Now with original material, my tunes, I used to be until very recently the opinion that electronic music was like a commodity. Music needed to be played out in clubs. DJs needed content, for want of a better word, lots of music. And so as a producer, I should be making a lot of tracks. I can't do that. I just don't have the creative whatever it is within me. And also looking and reversing engineering other artists' careers, it makes more sense and it ties in with the way the music business until recently worked and may work again. That instead of just producing track after track after track and releasing track after track and playing it out, then you concentrate more on the quality of maybe 4 releases a year. So upping my game in terms of the composition, upping my game in terms of production, spending longer trying to create tracks and then bringing them to you to listen to. So that's my strategy going forward. And so then at the bottom of the map we've got the DJ mixes. I've just I've just put out another one on Mixcloud, and I'm continuing to do that, trying to do one a month. And I continue to do this. It does take me a lot of time because I'm quite anal about making sure that I put the track lists up and that I do some marketing on the back end, but it's a good way of creating content and documenting, not creating, a la Gary V. By doing this mix every month, it gives me a good opportunity then to post the tracks or screen grabs of the tracks onto my social medias, which I do, and keep people interested in what I'm doing, and also spreading the word about really good tunes that I found. So I quite like the activity. It takes a lot of time to do each one, but the benefit for me is good in terms that it just makes me feel like I'm still active. Now, talking about real marketing for a second, the aim of anything such as the DJ mix is to find people like you who like my music or what I'm producing in terms of a DJ mix, and then getting you to interact with one of my touch points, a marketing term, whether it's my socials, my website, email or whatever, and so that we can start that one-to-one conversation further down the line. So when I've done a mix, my social medias then point to my Mixcloud, and then hopefully through my Mixcloud that will make you investigate my other socials, and eventually you will bump into my website where I will ask you for your email address. And it is a quid pro quo. There will be something in return for that email address. And I'm going to do a separate video about that, about email marketing and how that works and how I am a fan of it and engage with it. But everything I do has to have what's called this call to action. So it's either initially sending people on socials to the Mixcloud to listen to it, and then from the Mixcloud there has to be some way that I can get people to then go to my website. So with that in mind, on my socials, the main concentration being, as I said before, is Instagram and Facebook. Facebook for its shareability, and Instagram just because it's the metric that everybody talks about.
I am not doing TikTok.
So with Instagram, as you know, you are limited in the real estate and the links that you're allowed. And so I use Linktree, and there's a screen grab of it, which allows me to send you, if you're interested, to my other touch points on and offline. And finally, there's the Fan Finder campaign, which is an activity coined by Circa and the Indiepreneur gang. And you can see it on the Indiepreneur website. It's one of the services they sell. It's a way of using Facebook ads to find people who may be interested in your music, and then with various techniques, starting those people onto a journey to become a fan. Now, I won't give too much away, but I will be instigating this Fan Finder as part of this process, as you see on the map, of then guiding you and others who are interested into starting a relationship with me via my website and email marketing. And then, as you can see, the overall aim is, when people like you and others are interested, then perhaps looking towards some kind of membership. And again, with the pandemic, thousands of creators have started Patreons and are expecting people just to pay money to support them. and it doesn't work like that. You know, I want you to be interested in what I'm doing. I wanted to develop a relationship with you so that it's reciprocal. I'm interested in you, you're interested in me. And then, yes, gigs and live streams. So that's the marketing plan for now. I will be going through various elements of it in the following videos. My next video will be about me and my original music and the problems I'm facing. So I hope you join me then. If you like what you're seeing so far, then please tap or click to subscribe. And if you want to watch some other videos in this series, this is the first one, then again you can tap or click to watch the other videos in this video playlist. So thanks very much for watching.